Good morning. It's Pentecost, or Whit, and we're outside the bus stop in Little Budworth, and you'll find out why in a minute, and I hope it makes sense. The word Pentecost comes from the Greek, the 50th day after the last Sabbath of the Passover, and that has a sense that the early Christians believed themselves to be part of a new Exodus community, set free from slavery, journeying with God, heading into the unknown. And indeed, the day of Pentecost, when the disciples found themselves out in the streets, as I am right now, though not surrounded by a great crowd speaking many languages, they were heading on a new journey. Today, as they say, is the day when the church was born. The other phrase, wit, comes from Anglo-Saxon, and it means understanding. Pentecost, or wit, is a time when we have a new understanding about God's will and his hopes and his intentions. This is a strange time, and many folk picked up on the words I said last week about having a sense of bereft, and there are things which we're missing, people we can't hug, jobs we're leaving behind, places we can't go, and I know many people are missing visiting our churches. But there is a sense in Pentecost that when something is taken away, something new is given. Jesus in fact said to his friends, I must leave so that the Holy Spirit can be given to you, the Comforter. And remember, of course, that in those days, ancient word for comfort didn't mean taking it easy and sitting on a nice settee. It meant being challenged, being provoked, as in the Battle of Hastings, when the troops were comforted by being whacked with the flat of a sword. And one of the things that I think we're experiencing this time is we've lost many things. Much has been taken away and there's things we're missing. But at the same time, we are receiving new things, and that's why I'm sat outside the bus stop in Little Budworth. And I don't know if you've been down here and visited it, and I know there's something similar in Whitegate as well. But in the bus stop here, there have been books, and there's children's toys, and there have been seedlings. There were sunflower seeds, and that was so that people could take them and plant them around the village. And in this time when we've lost so much, people would see those sunflowers growing, a sign of something different within our community. One of the things that has happened very much, and we all know this, is the sense of resilience and of preparation that people made very early on to help each other out if people needed shopping or medicines or whatever. And it wasn't just that people were making plans for the immediate future. People were making long-term plans. I know folk rang me and said, I've got good neighbours, I've got somebody who can pick up my shopping for me, but what if that goes wrong? What if they get ill? What if something happens unforeseen? And so people put in place contingency plans. And that spoke about a resilience and a commitment to one another, which runs deep in the heart of our communities. That's something we're learning. We're learning to see people anew. We're learning to evaluate people anew. It's not a case anymore of high skill, high wage. We very often know it's high skill, high importance, and low wage. So Pentecost for us is a challenge. Wit is a new understanding. It's about us thinking again what God is calling us to be. It's about not just sitting within the church, but realizing the church is sent out into the world. The reason, and if you've ever read at Pentecost, you'll know this, there's a whole list of languages, quite difficult languages. Oh look, two gentlemen on motorbikes, how wonderful. Give them a wave. You'll know that if you do the Pentecost reading, then you get all those languages, which are quite hard to pronounce. But the point about that is that this is the good news of God's best hope for his people being sent into the whole world, not just for a limited few. It is for everybody. And that is the mission of the church. William Temple said the church is an institution, the only institution perhaps, which is there for the benefit of its non-members. And we forget sometimes that the church is an institution, and we confuse it with an organisation, and the two are not the same. So this Pentecost, a time when our churches are closed and we are actually out on the street. That is where God calls us to be, in people's lives, doing what we can. there is a new understanding here, and it's one which I hope, like the sunflower seeds which were offered here in this bus shelter, will be planted and grow and produce something wonderful that will be long lasting. Gracious Father, this Pentecost, this Whit, send us out to journey with you, to open our eyes to a new understanding, to be the people you send into the world, in your name. Amen.